All right, dear colleagues and partners, hello and thank you for joining us today. Your feedback after the first webinar we held last month was so inspiring, and we so much appreciated that we've decided to launch this webinar without further delay. Now, we're glad that you find these webinars useful, and we will continue delivering educational content in this format every few weeks. Today, the webinar will be delivered by my colleagues, Yulia Simachenko and Alexander Piskunov, whom you already know from the previous presentation regarding Google Page Speed Optimizer by Amasty. My colleagues and I will talk about the Return Merchandise Authorization, aka RMA, and how Amasty can help stores turn pain into gain. Yulia, do proceed.
Thanks, Natalia, and hello, everyone. As Natalia has just mentioned, today we'll talk about the RMA extension by Amasty and two add-ons released in October, automation rules and reports for RMA. During this presentation, we'll take a look at the returns process and the challenges it presents to both the customers and the store administrators. And we will focus on the value that RMA extension by Amasty brings to business owners. Right now, we are in the middle of the holiday sales season. Being the most productive and profitable season for the store owners, it also has its downsides. One of them is an increase in the number of merchandise return requests. According to the National Retail Federation, return rates are at least 2% higher during the holidays than during the rest of the year. The National Retail Federation also reports that 369 billion worth of merchandise was returned in the United States in 2018. This accounts for 10% of the total US retail industry sales. And that is no joke. And these are not just mere numbers. Product returns are a major pain for store owners. When there is no effective return management system in place, businesses lose time, money, and customers. And as we know, an unhappy customer is likely to share a negative experience with 10 other people, while a happy one will do the same with only 3 others. Knowing about these challenges, here at Amasty, we've combined our own experience from thousands of e-commerce businesses served and first-hand feedback gathered from randomly selected and polled store owners, and built an extension that helps our customers turn this pain into a source of opportunities. RMA by Amasty helps store owners address the challenges associated with merchandise returns and achieve 2 major goals common for all e-commerce businesses: increase customer retention and cut operational costs. Let's focus for now on the first goal and put ourselves in the customer's shoes. Let's imagine that you spend time choosing your perfect product, then wait for it to be delivered. When you finally receive the package, you excitedly open it and realize that the product you received is defective, doesn't match the description, or is a wrong one altogether. Upset and frustrated, you go to the web store in order to open a return request. At this point, the store owner needs to ensure that the customer who is already upset goes through the return process as smoothly as possible. And RMA by Amasty helps business owners set up the process in a way that gives customers as positive an impression as possible. And it starts with the user-friendly interface. The interface you see is the implementation of industry's best practices and the results of customer surveys conducted in order to create the most intuitive user experience. 6 out of 10 users from the focus group admitted that complex layout is #1 reason why they would consider abandoning the store after their first return request submission. But obviously, the initial positive impression may be ruined if a customer has to worry about every consequent step they take or expect the store to take to complete the submitted RMA request. We have addressed this task by creating clear and transparent process infographics step-by-step instructions, and return process tracking mechanism that helps every customer understand where they are now, what they need to do to proceed, and what steps to expect from the store administration. Our aim here was to create a guided experience that protects customers from frustration, to prevent human errors, and to avoid extra support requests. But it may happen that even the most guided and transparent process may not be enough to alleviate customers' frustration. We've all been in a situation when talking to a fellow human felt like the best solution. So in this case, our live chat comes to aid. The customer has an opportunity to start a direct conversation with the admin at any point. Convenient and familiar chat interface, it allows to save chat history and return to the conversation at a later stage or in case a dispute arises. Full transparency in communication helps create trust between the client and the store and to save time on dispute resolution. However, the best return request is obviously the one that has not been created. With this in mind, we've designed the RMA extension to display information about possible resolutions for individual products right on the product and cart pages. Let's see this example of DD Sport Watch. Even before making the purchase and with no additional effort, the customer knows the return policy for the item. And in this case, they will have 30 days to submit an RMA request. In essence, store administrators have unlimited opportunities for configuring return policy rules, up to the point of establishing individual rules for every product if that's required. The rules don't just display the information on the product and checkout pages. They prevent submitting requests outside the permitted time period. That is, if a store admin wants items on sale to have no return option, the customer will not be able to submit a request at all. That way, we prevent the creation of requests that will not be satisfied, thus eliminating unnecessary frustration. To check the effectiveness of these measures in terms of customer retention, we conducted a hallway usability test. We asked the participants to open an RMA request and go through the entire product return process. As many as 94% of the participants indicated that they had a positive impression of the process and were very likely to return to the store. As we also know from a Narvar consumer report, 95% of customers satisfied with the returns process say they'll buy from the retailer again. These 94% and 95% give us good reason to believe that RMA by Amasty helps greatly with customer retention by increasing customer satisfaction. Now, retaining customers is certainly a major goal, but what about helping the admins and cutting operational costs? Let's talk about that for a while. And for that, let's look at the return process through the admin's eyes. It's hard for the manager to stay focused and be efficient when all the RMA requests, both resolved and active ones, are kept in one place. So to make admins work faster and more efficient, we've created 3 separate grids. All active requests are available on the Manage Requests grid. The admin can access and manage such requests in a focused manner. And when the grid is empty, the manager's work is done and they can move on to other tasks. To process an active return request as quickly as possible, the manager needs to have all the necessary tools, links, and information in one place. To accommodate this need and to save time on unnecessary transitions, RMA by Amasty offers store admins an advanced workspace where they can find all the necessary information about any particular request, update and track its status, and communicate with the customer. Often, store admins have to deal with complex RMA requests that include multiple products. Let's imagine that a customer made an order for 5 items, submitted a return request, indicated different return reasons for 3 items, while keeping the remaining 2. Normally, the manager would need to open separate requests to provide a relevant resolution for each item. RMA by Amasty allows the manager to process all items within one complex RMA request. And since there is no need to create separate requests, the time for processing a complex RMA goes down from an average 2 minutes to 10 seconds, which is a major improvement if you ask me. To successfully guide the customer through the return process, the admins used to type custom responses at every stage to every customer. Some admins reported that they spend up to 60% of their working day typing responses to customers. With RMA by Amasty, online stores can create their own quick reply templates or use the preset ones to speed up the communication both in chat and in notifications. This way, we reduce the time spent on manager-customer communication by an average of 35%. What else can you do to speed up the return management process? Automation is one obvious answer. RMA by Amasty can do what managers would otherwise need to do manually. For instance, each manager's interaction with a return request is followed by an update of the request status. When done manually, the process of updating request statuses can be very time-consuming, especially when the manager has many requests to process. RMA by Amasty helps speed up the process by updating request statuses automatically based on an event set out by corresponding rules. For example, it can update the return request status and automatically move it to the Manage Requests grid as soon as the customer adds a tracking number. Such automation prevents delays in the processing of return requests and eliminates human error. It's great when the system is automated and request statuses are quickly updated without managers' participation. However, how can we keep the managers and customers in the loop and make sure they will go back to the request without delay when their action is needed? RMA by Amasty can resolve this challenge by sending custom email or chat notifications about request status updates to the manager and the customer based on the rules set out by the admin. These rules may determine who will receive what and when in each particular case. As we already mentioned, the best RMA request is the one that is not created. If we want to tell customers that the products purchased on sale cannot be returned, we can set up a rule that would prevent customers from opening return requests for such items. And the extension would show an explanation to the customer, preventing any confusion. The possibility of setting up custom return rules is a major feature of RMA by Amasty. It's possible to create rules for different products and set individual resolution periods. When the customer can clearly see the terms for returning a product, we reduce the workload on admins who receive fewer questions regarding the returns policy. Overall, the return rules make RMA by Amasty very flexible and suitable for online stores of any size. Each store can use the rules to create a custom returns workflow tailored to its own needs. Finally, every store needs a clear return policy that is easy to find and accessible anywhere and anytime. And RMA by Amasty allows stores to easily configure return policy rules, the links to which are strategically placed to ensure visibility and transparency. The old RMA extension by Amasty that you may have been familiar with was a generic offer on the market. The process of rebuilding it was a complex but definitely a worthy one. According to a survey conducted earlier this fall, the new RMA extension by Amasty has reduced the time that store admins spend on processing RMA requests by an average 40% compared to the extension's performance before its major update in August 2019. A 40% reduction, and that's just the basic functions of the RMA extension. What about some advanced functionality? In October, we introduced a new concept of add-ons to better accommodate our customers' needs. The decision was based on the feedback that we gathered from store owners. Namely, as many as 72% of the respondents indicated that they are more likely to choose an extension that offers the basic functionality they need at a regular price, and then install an add-on as the store grows, rather than use a feature-rich extension with advanced functionality that they will not use at 100% capacity, but that will cause an increase in the extension price. As a result, we've decided to provide advanced functionality separately in the form of add-ons and released 2 add-ons to the RMA extension back in October. And we have the 3rd one coming up. Let's briefly talk about each of them. The automation rules add-on helps to further reduce the workload on managers thanks to advanced automation. As we discussed earlier, the RMA extension can automatically update statuses and move requests to the relevant grid based on configurable events. The automation rules add-on takes it further and allows for creating much more complex custom rules with various conditions, including product attributes, customer attributes, and request attributes. And we can set up custom rules to update request statuses. For example, if a store wants to save time and automatically approve return requests for items that are defective or damaged from category 5 and the price is lower than $100, it can set up an automation rule as described in case 1. Case 2 shows that it's also possible to automatically set managers to return requests based on various conditions. For instance, we can assign requests to manager Jeff Bridge as soon as the item is shipped by the customer. Finally, case 3 demonstrates the possibility of sending automatic email notifications to the managers and the customers. For example, if a request already approved by the admin gets no reply from the customer for 30 days, we can send email notifications to the admin and the customer. And if there is no reply for 45 days, the status of the request can be automatically set to rejected by admin, and the customer will be notified. This slide shows an example of how to create a rule for case 1 to automatically approve return requests for items that are damaged and cost less than $100. According to our fall survey mentioned earlier, the advanced automation rules reduce the average time spent on processing RMA requests by an additional 20%. And this advanced automation functionality would be particularly helpful for bigger stores that receive larger numbers of RMA requests and need to process them as efficiently as possible. Data-driven decisions are key to effective management and continuous improvement of every business. The larger the business, the more data it has, and the more time it takes to collect and analyze it. The second add-on to the RMA extension, Reports for RMA, helps business owners improve their returns management strategy. The add-on makes it easier to identify areas of improvement by analyzing the dynamics of the RMA request numbers, manager performance, merchandise return reasons, defective products, and other metrics. Who wants to sell products that are frequently returned due to their low quality? The reports and add-on helps identify defective products so that the store can take measures. For example, stop stocking up on them. The add-on also helps detect customers who might be abusing the store's return policy and decide whether to take any action against them. An important feature that RMA by Amasty offers is the capability to analyze each return case from the standpoint of profit that every particular customer or item brings to the store. As the slide shows, customer Veronica, although frequently submitting return requests, is a frequent and profitable buyer. Having these 2 facts at hand, the store admin may as well decide to leave the customer be for the moment, but keep an eye on the situation for any other signs of suspicious behavior. Finally, the reports in details functionality helps analyze complex cases that need custom reports. For example, we can select a specific return reason and see how different managers handle such requests and how their resolution decisions affect the rating. This is the functionality that the Reports add-on offers. As I mentioned before, in addition to the automation rules and Reports add-ons that are already available, we are now working on a third one, automatic shipping label. In many cases, the return shipping costs, for example, for defective goods or wrong items, are covered by the store. To return the defective item to the store, the customer needs to bring a shipping label to the package delivery company and put it on the item to be returned. In order to provide customers with such a shipping label, the admins need to interact with the package delivery company to pay for shipping and issue the label. The upcoming add-on will automate the process and make it possible for the customers to fill out the package details for shipping and generate the shipping label without third-party help or involvement. We plan to release the automatic shipping label add-on in the first quarter of 2020. To sum up, RMA by Amasty assists greatly with customer retention. It helps stores establish a smooth and transparent return system and protect customers from negative emotions. The improved workflow, optimized admin workspace, automated processes, detailed and customizable reports help store admins improve the quality and speed of their work. Together, all of this helps businesses cut operational costs and free up time and resources for other activities. Covering all the aspects of this extension in just 30 minutes is challenging, so we definitely urge you to check the demo for more details on the options that the RMA model offers. And now we'll be happy to answer your questions. Please use the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen to type in your questions. We'll take a 1-minute break to give you an opportunity to submit your inquiries.
All right, great, thank you. So we have a few questions. We will try and address all of them, but if we go outside our time frame, then we will make sure to address the remaining questions in the follow-up email. All right, let's start with the first one. Okay, that's a good one. Where can the two add-ons be found on the Amasty website? I did a quick search and couldn't find them. So you can find the add-ons on the product page. Right here, you can see in the description, you can see both add-ons highlighted, as well as on the add to cart. Yeah, that's right. On the add to cart element, you can see automation rules and reports. When the third one is released, it will appear here as well. All right, let's move on. Where does the rating come from? Alexander, can you take that one?
Yep. Hello. So the rating. Okay. Let me check. The answer is very easy. The rating, the form for the feedback, this form appears on the request page as soon as the request reaches the final state. This is state. And I think that it's not very clear for you what is state now and how it works, so I can describe it. So state is something like a milestone for a return request. Every return request in any website will have to pass 4 basic states. I can add that there are statuses, here they are, and there are states, 2 different entities. And statuses are custom entities, so it could be created by administrator in the backend, as many as you need, and you can edit them. And these statuses are linked to states. states cannot be amended. So these 4 milestones, they exist in any return request. These milestones are: first, we call it processing. It means that customer submits a request, and there could be some disputes between customer and manager during this step. Administrator can ask some questions, clarify some details, and then on the second step, a manager approves the return request. Literally, manager says, okay, customer, I checked the details, everything is okay, and we can proceed. Please send the goods back to the web store. The third milestone is when the goods are delivered to the web store. During this step, a manager can check these goods with his eyes and hands, and again, some disputes could be arranged again. And after everything is done and clarified, the last step is completed. During this step, the request can be resolved by some actions such as refund, exchange, etc. So soon again, oh, sorry, yeah, not this one. Yeah, here. As soon as the request comes to this final state, regardless of the status, this form appears and a customer can leave his feedback. So feedback is a good tool that helps us to improve the service and earn more money. And later on, you can see this feedback here on the grid with closed requests. You can filter requests by the rating, and one more thing, in our reports you can use rating as well. Here the system uses the average value of the rating, and you can check how the intermediate value changes during the time. Yep, so that's how it works. Oh, maybe one more thing. Maybe it is not very clear how can a customer come to this page. We have a tool, special tool. I'm sorry, I will switch to another screen. As soon as, yep. So, okay, I'll do it here. I'll do it here. Inside every status of the request, we have email notifications that can be set up. So it is possible to set up for the needed status a mail notification that, dear customer, please leave a feedback. And this call to action will help a customer to find the place and to leave feedback and to improve your service. I think I've told everything that I know about this. Yeah.
All right, great, Alexander. Thank you so much. So let's move on to the next. So can the admin create a request for the customer?
Oh yeah, sure. Admin can create the request from the admin area, and I'd like to add that there could be even such a situations when customer is not allowed to open a request on the front end due to some, for example, the return period has expired and customer is not allowed to open it. But in the backend, administrator can open such a request. So administrator is able to override the rules, the return rules of the extension. And yeah, we think that human beings are smarter than the system, and we have granted administrators such a superpower for managing requests, and he can open it.
All right, great. I think we have time for one more question. So Can you show an example of a complex RMA?
Complex RMA, okay. Please hold on for a moment. I'll find a request with multiple items. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, here it is. So let's imagine that it's just newly submitted request. I'm an administrator. There are multiple items here. The first item has run product description and it is opened. Okay, we can assume that according to our policy, a customer can't return an item with wrong description and being opened. So in this case, I can reject this particular item. Not all the requests, but this item. And others I can approve. Later on, customer ships this item back to the store, and I approve that we have received the items. I think we can check these bags. These bags are defective, and there are 5. Imagine that I'm administrator and I check these items and I see that only 3 bags are defective and 2 bags are opened, and seems that customer damaged them. So we can handle it easily. We can split these items into 2 groups, 3 and 2, and I can approve these 3. And as for these 2, I can change the condition to opened. Yeah, I can change resolution to repair, for example, and approve it again. So you see that all this complex situation was solved inside this return request. And I can handle any situation without opening an additional requests, and everything here is transparent to administrator and transparent to customer as well. Here inside on the page of the return, you see this item status. So these are item statuses. Customers will see the decision regarding every item. Yep. So this tool saves time and helps us keep things in order. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Alexander. So basically, I think that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for your time. Alexander, Yulia, thank you so much for your presentation. It's been great seeing you all online, and it's always a pleasure to see so many great people watch and listen to you. So thank you for your attention, and let's catch up next week, because next week we will hold our next webinar and talk about Calculates, the all-inclusive software as a service shipping solution by Amasty. We invite you all to join us and promise you a great presentation. So we will send you all the details about this webinar and the next one via email. Please stay tuned. So thank you all for your attention and have a really great day. Bye-bye.